What is going on, guys? It's your boy Jimmy P back with another deck tech for you guys. I know it's been quite a while since we busted out one of these, but the new Magic the Gathering set, Adventures into the Forgotten Realm, have produced a pretty awesome commander that everybody's been making deck techs about. I too am going to present a deck tech about Xanathar, the Guild Kingpin. Blue and black, 4 colorless for a 5/6. At the beginning of your upkeep, choose target opponent. Until end of turn, that player can't cast spells. You may look at the top card of their library anytime. You may play the top card of their library, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast spells this way. What the fudge is going on here? Pretty much, I'm making a commander deck so that I can play your deck. Ridiculous. I thought it was spicy as hell. I've been watching some of these deck techs. I've taken what I thought was the best parts of those, added my own spice, and I'm going to present it to you here. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the lands. Alright, so not too much fancy going on here with the lands, mainly because all of my special lands are tied up in other commander decks. This is just kind of what I could put together. We got 16 swamps, 16 islands. We have a Dimir Aqueduct command tower. We're going to bust out this Port of Cartelli. That's pretty neat. And then an Evolving Wilds. So we do have a little bit of mana fixing, a little rampy-dampy there. But just pretty much plain Jane. I don't like playing tap lands too much. I try not to play them if I can help it, just due to the fact that it slows you down. There's so many games where if I could have just had my mana untapped, I could have survived. So I just try to limit my amount of playing those, so I'd rather just play basics. So there's the land base. Let's go ahead and move on to some other fun things. Alright, let's just get this right out of the way. Secondary win condition, combo out. Cirque U, Isochron Scepter, Dramatic Reversal, Dimir Signet, Soul Ring. With the theme of this deck being so ridiculous and, you know, like locking people out of the game, it's just fun to have an extra combo in there. So your commander costs a lot in this deck. He's freaking 6. If he dies 1 or 2 times, it's going to be really hard to start playing him again. So you need this another condition in here to win, I feel like. If you want to make this deck a serious threat. But it's a secondary threat, one that people might not expect. Doesn't cost a lot of mana to put the pieces into play, and is pretty ridiculous. So if you're going to build this deck and you have these cards, you should definitely make the combo. It's fun. So pretty much what you're doing is you're using Isochron Scepter with the Dramatic Reversal to untap your mana rocks right there, and then you keep casting Dramatic Reversal with Cirque U's ability. You exile their deck till it's gone. Ridiculous. Let's go ahead and move into the other mana rocks of the deck. Alright, so this is a very expensive deck, so I tried to pull out the best of what I had of mana rocks that would be quick, but also give me a decent amount of mana. Look at this ridiculous Thran Dynamo. You wish you had this shiny mofo. I'm going to try out this Soul Talisman. I've never actually played this in a deck before, but I pulled it. Going to definitely try it out. It's like another Soul Ring, even though you got to suspend it. I know this is a land, but you can't even use it unless you have 4 other lands, so I'm counting it as a mana rock. We got the Arcane Signet and a Sky Diamond because I've got a little bit more on the blue side than on the black, so I need a little bit extra on the blue fixing. But you have an expensive commander. A lot of the spells in this deck are expensive. You already seen the Soul Ring and the Dimir Signet, so we have plenty of stuff here to get the mana that we need to cast off these big spells. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about redundancy. Alright, so talking redundancies, we got a lot of stuff on here to like continue the theme of playing off your opponent's deck. Look at this Thieving Amalgam. Holy crap. At the beginning of each upkeep, like they have to take the top card off their deck and manifest it for you. Ridiculous. Spark double, so you can have 2 Ganthers playing, Ganadas or whatever his name is, playing. So if you're playing more than a 1v1, you can have multiple people's decks you could be playing off of. King Narfi's Betrayal, so that you can get some stuff into their graveyard and then play the best of what you got in there. The Memory Plunder, so you can play their best spells. Gaunty, of course, because you're jacking them. The Night Veil Spectre is cool because after you exile the cards, you can play them as long as you have the color, of course, but otherwise it's still exiled. So a lot of stuff on theme. If I had an extra Eldest Reborn, I would probably put that in there, but I don't. So this is what I got going into the deck so far. Let's go ahead and show you the counterspell package. Of course, we're running the potent, and I mean potent, counterspell package. We got Memory Lapse, which becomes like super freaking powerful in this deck. So just imagine them playing their most powerful spell that they have, or the only answer that they have to save you, and you Memory Lapse it. Knowing that that's going on to the top of their deck, it's going to your turn, you're going to be able to play that card that they just tried to play on you. Absolutely freaking ridiculous. This is also a deck where I'm not afraid to play Arcane Denial. Who cares if they're going to draw a card? I should be able to edit them into only being able to draw what I want them to draw, as you'll see in this next section, plus with the ability that I'm using with my commander. Good old counterspell, turn aside. A lot of stuff that I'm worried about is the stuff that's going to target my commander. I'm not so much worried about them playing creatures and things of that nature. Unless it's something ridiculous, and I do have counter spells for that, but a lot of my counter spells are to protect my commander and are like non-creature, because I'm not too worried about that stuff. I'm just worried about my commander, but I also have other stuff. This new counter spell for 5 that has Cascade is ridiculous. If you're not playing that card, you really should check it out, because I have plenty of 4-drops and other things here that would be fine getting dropped. I like Dissolve because it lets you scry, and sometimes you just need to know what's going on. Of course, Unwind because you get to untap your land and get yourself set up for whatever next move you need to make. Just making sure that your commander is good and having enough to deal with any threat that comes through the game. Let's go ahead and move on to some stuff that I can use to edit or look at the top of my opponent's deck to make sure I'm getting the stuff that I want and preventing them from getting stuff. Alright, so all kinds of stuff here to be going through your opponent's decks, checking the top of their libraries, doing all kinds of stuff that you need to do to pick the best cards that you need. Ashnod Silex is going to be really freaking spicy. If you don't know what that card does, pretty much you pay 3 mana and tap it, and then you pick a player, presumably your opponent, and they get to look at the top 3, and they have to put 2 into their graveyard. So either they're going to have to mill away their good stuff so that you don't play it, or they're going to mill away their crap hoping that you don't get to play it. So it's just really spicy and brutal. Codex Shredder, of course, so that you can just be going through the top of their deck. Mishra's Bauble is nice because you get to draw a card and get to look at the top of their deck. Dimir Charm, this also can count as a counter spell, which is pretty neat. So just a very versatile card. You can look at the top 3 and edit their top. Agonizing Remorse is more of a edit their hand card. If you're at the start of the game or you're at a crucial point in the game, you can bust that out to try to get rid of whatever they have that might be a threat to you, which I think is pretty neat. I love that art too. Dacra Mystic. Kind of a surprise. It's just a 1-drop, but its ability is pretty crazy, as you can pay 1 to like look at the top of their deck and then either have them draw it or put it into, everybody has to put it into the graveyard, which is just fantastic. I haven't seen too many people picking up on that Dacra Mystic. I know it's just 1 for a 1/1 and it might die or some stuff like that, but it just helps the deck. It's cheap. You can get it out early. It still can be useful late game because then you can just start paying 1 and flipping through their cards. So definitely really neat. Dacra Mystic, don't sleep on it. Don't sleep on any of these other cards. Let's go ahead and get into like removal. The removal isn't too heavy or hot here because I'm using mainly counter spells because I just don't want them playing stuff anyway. But for those cases for when they do manage to get in, I have a little bit of protection here. The Eye of the Beholder, of course, super flavorful and spicy. You love that -11/11. I know it costs a lot, but who cares? I'm playing a Beholder. Why not bust that out? It's brutal. Nothing is going to be able to survive that. sudden spoiling, so if things are getting crazy or I need to stop something on the fly, we got that going on. I always do like Far and Away because it gives you a couple of different options, both of which I like: bounce a creature or make them sacrifice a creature. And I need stuff to deal with planeswalkers that's decent price, and Grim Bounty only costs 4, and you get a treasure token. Ridiculous. So that's pretty much it for that. Let's go ahead and go into the rest of the creatures for the deck. Ooh, we got a lot of crazy stuff going on here. We got a couple of Leviathan Krakens here. Slim Voda does the thing where if you kick it, you can bounce everything but the Krakens, Leviathans, Octopus, and stuff. Then you got Braylon, who is also one of those. So if you happen to be able to get those two and you bounced everything, you'd have 2. Plus with Braylon, anytime you're busting out 6 or higher casting costs, which there's a lot in this deck, you'll be bouncing permanents. So that's pretty fun. Consuming Aberration, just because I had one and I needed a slot for something fun, and making them mill. I have ways of playing stuff from their graveyard, so that's always fun to have, and giving them less options is always fun. This guy is pretty good because he's like a little mini Factor Fiction. Although your fate is in the hands of your opponent, you're either getting 1 or you're getting 2 cards. This guy is excellent because he makes it harder to hit my commander, and of course I'm trying to protect my commander so I can play the deck, so that's excellent. Sir Conrad is good for this kind of deck because if they're getting rid of cards or putting stuff into their graveyard, they're going to pay for that. It's good to just have a Shadow Mage Infiltrator when you're playing these colors because you need to draw cards. It's good to get out early to draw cards. Evil Twin is here because I like copying their best creatures and using them and then destroying them. We got the Trophy Mage here so that you can go and fetch what you need to do the combo, or if you need a mana rock, it can help you go and get that. Archon of Cruelty, because why not? I need a big fatty. I'm playing big fatties here as like another sub-theme, I guess you could say. Sphinx of Thung, of course, because sometimes you need to just get more cards. This is real spicy right here, the Dread Defiler. With me putting all these cards in their graveyards and stuff, if they don't deal with that Eldrazi, then I'm just going to be wiping them off the game, because I'll just be removing the stuff from their graveyards and making them pay for it. A lot of fun creatures here, a lot of stuff to either protect my commander, go get pieces, or, you know, have some kind of value. Let's go ahead and move to everything else in the deck. Alright, so here's the best of the rest. This is all kind of like stuff to draw or fetch things. Predict, I think, is going to be really good in here because, as you know, you're going to be looking at the top card of your opponent's deck, and that's an instant. So at the end of your turn, if you save that 2 mana, you can draw 2 cards real quick at the beginning of his upkeep, because you'll know that card that you're predicting, which is crazy. So I thought that would be really good. Brainstorm is always good. This is a new tutor that'll let you go get an instant or sorcerer. You have to reveal it, but who cares? You're going to get what you need. Commence the Endgame's an excellent draw spell because then you also get a 2/2 zombie army. These are some cool things that I have here that do various things. Let me gain control of one of their smaller creatures, surveil and return a creature from my graveyard to the battlefield. Hour of Eternity, if my creature base and everything is all messed up, I have a full graveyard, I can at least make a bunch of 4/4s. Lay Claim, so I can gank a permanent or cycle it away if it costs too much. Ooh, Vile Consumption. Vile Consumption is going to be super fun. I don't know if you guys know about this old card, but pretty much gives all creatures an upkeep of pay 1 life. Brutal, or sacrifice it. A lot of protection and stuff over here. Hammer of Nazan, you're like, what? Oh yeah, I'm going to put Hammer of Nazan on my commander, make him indestructible. Lightning Greaves, Swiftfoot Boots, just ways to give him hexproof, a little haste. Alexi's Cloak is real dope because you can play the card at flash speed and gives them protection from whatever you need it to. Gift of Doom gives something indestructible and you can morph it. And then here on the end is just some cool nastiness. Cabal Conditioning is brutal, dude. You make your opponent's discard their hand equal to your highest converted mana cost that you have on the board. And you pick whoever does that. Like, you pick any number of players. You don't have to pick yourself. But then you can just do it to your opponents and just brutalize them. And then from this new Modern Horizons 2, Got the Unmarked Grave Persist combo with some of those fatty creatures that I have. If they're getting put into my graveyard with like Narvi's Betrayal, or if they just get killed or something, being able to bring them back with that nice little combo is real dope. And alright, there's my Xanathar the Guild Kingpin deck. Let me know what you think about this deck in the comments. Let me know if you're building this deck and what you put in there. Let me know what you think I did wrong with this deck, if you think. Just interact with me. Let me know what you think and let me know what you're building. I always like to hear about your guys' comments. For Rotted Peach Productions, I'm your boy Jimmy P. There'll be plenty more deck techs coming soon. Like, share, subscribe. We love you guys. Take it easy.